is the SicEm365 Radio Richard Carr Buick GMC Cadillac postgame show.
Here comes the blitz. Brewer well protected. One-on-one in the end zone. R.J. Sneed. He's got it for a Baylor touchdown.
Here's Drake Toll and J.D. Pickell.
It's Brian Etheridge, SicEm365, doing our 10 things from following the Baylor's win over Kansas State. Number one, you had a great interception by J.T. Woods to start the game. And we talked about it earlier at halftime. Somebody should block number 56, Hubert, from Kansas State. Again, no one ever watched any tape on him. 3, this is not what you want to start the way you want to start the game on defense. The defensive line was getting pushed around early and often, 155 yards at half. The offensive line was getting pushed around by their Kansas State defensive line. And then all of a sudden you have R.J. Sneed pulling the Robert Griffin the third move on the sideline for 2008, except he scored a touchdown when RG3 just shook the Wake Forest linebacker out of his jock. Treston Ebner had a strong catch over the middle for a touchdown. Special teams then needed to improve, gave up a long return against Kansas State. And then we also saw that the offense still doesn't work laterally. That's something that's got to improve. We saw the offense do better going vertically. That was looking much better. Brewer played much better this game when he was going vertical. That's something that everyone can see. Keep the ball going vertical with the receivers and the running backs. Had a great stop by the defense to get the offense the ball back with 2+ to go, with 50 to go to get in field goal position. And then if you can't trust anybody named John, you can't trust John Mayers. Who can you trust? John Mayers wins with the game-winning field goal. And that is our 10 things for the game against Kansas State. Brady is now gets their second win of the game, and we're off to the post-game show with this guy sitting next to me, Drake Toll, and sitting in for J.D. Pickell will be Paul Catalina. Call it in, 254-339-1122, and I'm going to get off the set and let them handle it.
This is the SicEm365 Radio Richard Carr Buick GMC Cadillac postgame show.
Here comes the blitz. Brewer well protected. One-on-one in the end zone. R.J. Sneed. He's got it for a Baylor touchdown.
Here's Drake Toll and J.D. Pickell.
And we are live from the Texas Farm Bureau Insurance Broadcast Center on the SicEm365 Radio postgame show. I'm Drake Toll alongside Paul Catalina, recapping Baylor football's win. Paul, 32-31 against Kansas State. Baylor in the win column for the second time this season, snapping their losing streak. We're live, the phone lines are open, and your calls are coming in on Central Texas' #1 caller-driven digital sports show. You can join the fun by calling.
What is all that?
Or texting 254-339-1122. Paul, it's worked for 6 weeks.
Hold on. Listen. You're in my dojo right now, Drake. You don't caller-driven digital sports show. We're the #1 sports show. Don't give it adjectives. We're the #1 sports show. That's what we do here.
Who?
Per me, gosh darn it. Per Brian Etheridge and per Colt Barber. We're the #1, okay? #1. Okay, don't throw the adjectives in it. We're #1, all right? And we're gonna take some callers. I'm fired up, but I don't need your adjectives, young blood.
Baylor won today. Paul hasn't seen Baylor win in a long time.
Neither of you.
Paul likes when Baylor wins.
Yeah.
It makes Paul excited. We've got Richard on the line. Richard from San Antonio. You're on with SicEm365 Radio. After a Baylor win? ?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Thanks for having me again on the #1 college sports
#1, Richard. We're #1.
#1. There we go. But, I know Smokey said earlier this week, he asked Dave Aranda if we were at rock bottom. And, through that first half, you could say we were getting there. But, we turned it on fourth quarter. Charlie played a hell of a game. He put his body on the line once again. I think we've all been, we've been hard on Charlie in these last several weeks, but he played a really great game. He's a gamer, just straight up. But just clutch performance by Charlie, and John Mayer's finishing it off, and just a great win. The guys, you could tell they were excited at the end, and I would say, I think I saw someone on Twitter say, just win by one, and that's what we did, and that's all it takes, and hopefully carry some momentum in the last two games.
Richard, we won today.
What? We won, yes, we did. It's been a long time coming. That Kansas game seemed like so long ago.
Man, thanks so much for your call, Richard, as always. Paul, something COVID crazy is going to happen. Baylor's going to outright beat Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. They're going to win a national championship.
I don't know how. See, Drake, this is where you don't get JD in here to placate your young bloodness, and I'm going to use that word twice. Let's be realistic here. They won a game that they probably should have. They probably should have won, given all the things going on with Kansas State.
Yes.
They did not play well for a good swath of this game, but when they started doing the things that consistently work and divorce themselves of the things that don't, like laterally playing horizontally, then they started playing better. The offensive line is still as bad as you can imagine.
Yes,
it's very, very bad, and they keep rotating guys in and out, which I can't imagine really helps the consistency.
No.
So not sure what's going on there and why they keep doing that, but it worked today. Charlie Brewer played really well. I doubt we're going to have a whole lot of, Zeno chants and all that stuff. So it was a good thing today, and they needed this. I don't know if they're going to be – I don't think they'll beat Oklahoma or Oklahoma State. Those teams are really good.
Come on, Paul. We haven't even got to the callers yet. We'll leave that to them.
Let's live in the real here, Drake. Let's live in the real and deal in the real. And so the real is tonight they won. And we'll deal with Oklahoma and Oklahoma State later on. Oklahoma's got COVID right now. We don't know what's even going to happen in a week. So let's deal in the real. The real is right now. The real is they came back and won in spite of some bad special teams play in the first half, in spite of some bad offensive line play, and some questionable play calling for a good stretch of the game. They fought back and won, and this team showed it still has the gumption that it had in 2019.
So I am typically the pessimist on our show, and JD gets to be the sunshine guy. I think that's his name. I don't know where he picked up sunshine, but he's got maybe the hair, possibly.
Yeah,
it's possible. But he's the optimist. He's the guy that, we can win out, and that's going to be great. I don't think Baylor is going to win their next two ball games. But for right now, we're celebrating a Baylor win. And you know what I'm celebrating? Jack Wheeler's on the line. I tell you what, Jack, I got a special treat for you. You're going to be excited about this. Dylan Doyle played really well this week. We got a little sound bar in there for old DD.
Dylan Doyle, DD all day.
I was absolutely impressed with Dylan Doyle today. He played through injury. You saw him limp off the field. He was hurt for a while, comes back in, makes a big stop there on the last Kansas State drive, and hit it to me again.
Dylan Doyle, DC all day.
Injected in my veins. Thank you, Tyler. Here we go with Jack Wheeler. You're on with SicEm365 Radio.
Drake, I got to tell you, I know Paul likes when Baylor wins. I love it when Baylor football wins. And I'm happy to be calling to the number one sports talk show in America. Not just America, in the whole entire world, in this galaxy, in this universe. Good night. I got to tell you something. Charlie Brewer didn't play tonight in the fourth quarter. That was Chuck Brewer playing right there. Going down that field, taking us down, helping us win that game. Defense stepped up for the majority of the game. Who cares? You know what? We need to care about how bad we played for the majority of the game, but we got the win. We got it done. SicEm Bears, let me hear it.
SicEm Bears. Yes.
Dylan Doyle, DD all day.
There it is, baby. I love it, man. Jack, thanks so much for your call. Dylan Doyle played well today, Paul.
Yeah, he did. He played really well. Look, and the defense was up and down. They did what they had to do when they had to do it.
Right.
Losing J.T. Woods to the targeting call early in the game obviously didn't help them. But they played well. They played well. And they played well when they had to. They had times where they didn't. And not having, Kalen Barnes banged up and didn't play. T.J. Franklin banged up, didn't play. The defensive tackle position was really rough today. But as far as depth goes. But again, they got it done when they needed to. Especially, look, that last drive that Kansas State had the ball, Baylor had to get it back, and they did.
Yeah, and look, Baylor gets the ball back, and you think, broken record. We've seen the same thing the last 5-6 weeks. You just knew something was going to go wrong, and nothing went wrong. They made the field goal, and they win the game.
Yeah, they did. And, the thing that I liked was, and we talked about this here in the studio with everybody, they weren't playing for the field goal until they got into, chip shot range, where it was, the only reason that Mayers would miss the field goal is if something, bad happened. Right. And so they were playing for the touchdown. Sometimes you see offenses, well, we just got to get 3. Our kicker can kick it from 50. As long as we can get to the 35-yard line, we're fine. Well, no. Don't make the goal the 1-yard line, the goal line, and then settle for a field goal. Always play for a touchdown, settle for a field goal.
We got Steven from Virginia on the line. I tell you what, Steven, we had something that you really enjoyed a couple of weeks ago. Stephen A. Smith's having a very bad day, and it sounds a little bit different today. Tyler, do we have that?
This is bad. This is very, very bad.
The other one?
I am having a very good day.
There it is. One more time.
I am having a very good day.
Steven from Virginia, you're on with SicEm365 Radio.
Hey, guys. I'm still kind of in shock. I feel bad for all sports writers right now because I feel like everybody just had to hit delete.
Yeah.
But there were 2, and I had to hit delete because at halftime I wrote down what I was going to say, and I don't have to say it out here. But I think the first thing I wanted to say is Baylor, people used to say with Bryles that Baylor was wide receiver U, and I think Baylor is becoming linebacker U because across a few different coaching staffs, we've had great middle linebackers and inside linebackers. Talk about Joe Pavelek under Guy Morris, then Bryce Hager, Eddie Lackey, Clay Johnston, Terrell Bernard, and now Dylan Doyle and Abram Smith. I mean, these guys are monsters, and this defense is good. I know they didn't get a lot of sacks tonight because I saw the graphics said 7-0. But the other 2 things I want to say is second half Chuck and Fedora can work. The first half, the side-to-side nonsense, we've talked about that. That doesn't work. But I was getting ready to come on here and say, okay, that's it for Charlie. You can be a crash dummy, but that doesn't mean we owe you anything.
Yeah.
And that's not how I feel now. I don't feel that way anymore because watching the second half, they can do it. And, we really shouldn't have won that football game in retrospect, but we made the stops when we needed to. Other games like this that I can remember, I remember in 2011 when we beat TCU at the beginning of the year. I felt like we really shouldn't have won that game. But I look back on it almost 10 years later, and it feels like a great win. So that's how I feel about this. When it all comes and says and does, I'll feel that this was a great one.
Steven, thanks for your call. That 2011 game is what actually drew me to want to go to school at Baylor, so I'm glad that you brought that up. Paul, we've talked about the Nissan Maxima. Baylor's got a 2016 Nissan Maxima that's running with water in the gas tank. They put gas in the gas tank today during the second half.
Yeah, I think there might be some people that have a 2016 Nissan Maxima and think, I like my car. But they certainly did. They did what they had to do, and the offense got better. We got a text here on the Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line. Paul, the fact that Charlie started getting the ball out of his hand in under 3 seconds was a difference in a game. No sacks, receivers made yards after catch, winning formula, and that's very true. They started coaching around the offensive line's deficiencies. They started doing that as opposed to going for it or waiting and long developing stuff, go quick. They have these times where they're running play action fakes. I know that that's what they should say that they do, but the offensive line can't block long enough for the play action fake to be effective. So they need to not do those things. They stopped doing them. They started moving the ball down the field, getting the ball out quicker, not wasting time and moving it down. So, by the way, the Impact Health Labs phone line.
Nice. Paul,
got tons of people.
This is going to be my favorite part of the show because UT Mike is in our call queue right now. And I don't know if you watched the UT game yesterday.
Yes, I did.
But I'm real confused as to what UT Mike's going to have for us this week. UT Mike, you are reluctantly on the air with SicEm365 Radio.
UT Mike. Okay, guys. New guy Paul. Listen, cool your jets. Baylor will not win another game the rest of the year.
I didn't say that they would. I don't know where you got that.
You opened what they would. That's fine.
No, I think he said he wouldn't. I think he said he
did.
would.
I did
Go
not.
back.
I did not.
UT Mike.
Roll the tape back.
He doesn't listen to the show.
Yeah,
I think UT Mike just calls in at random times.
Yeah, I did.
What else you got, UT Mike?
So listen, Dave Aranda is not the answer. He's not going to be the answer. I said it from day one.
You'd say this every week. This is all you call in with.
How many penalties did Baylor have in the first half? I'm pretty sure they had more penalties than they had total yards.
Who won today?
In the first half. It all goes
Who
back
won yesterday?
to the head coach.
What?
What are you talking about? Drake, what are you talking about? Are we talking about Baylor or are we talking about Texas?
Who won the
they
game?
Got beat
though?
by 3 points yesterday.
Who won the game today?
How bad did Iowa State beat Baylor? By 11 points.
What? Do you know Texas beat Baylor too? That you could use that.
We're not comparing apples to apples here.
Hey, UT Mike, we're trying to live in the present here, and the present is that Baylor won today. And yes, they had a lot of penalties in the first half. You're correct.
Hey,
you know,
congratulations. Look, they did great today. Somewhat great. Charlie Brewer, he I don't know. Sometimes he's good. Sometimes he's just wild. Baylor has the worst offensive line in the country. The worst offensive line in the country. And I'm telling you guys, mark my words, Dave Aranda is not a head coach. UT Mike out.
UT Mike, again, reluctantly, thank you for your call.
Look, I'm going to, since I'm here, and I promise you, this is the only week I'm ever going to do this show. Ever.
Come back whenever you want, Paul.
I appreciate the invitation, but it's probably the only week this is going to happen, because the reason I don't do this is because this stuff drives me insane. You cannot judge Dave Aranda. I'll just give me the list of coaches in their first year this year. Sam Pittman, Mike Norvell, like all those guys. Do not judge them on this year. This is such a bizarre year that you cannot, they're going to be the roster overturn this year in college athletics, but college football in particular. You might see 30 new guys on a team. 30 new guys that aren't incoming freshmen.
Right.
So it's going to be wild. It's going to be so
And you bring in those 30 new guys via Zoom call. Hey guys, welcome to the football program.
So think about it like college football this year, because of the transfer portal and the one-time transfer rule, and this year doesn't count, is going to be like everybody throws a bunch of chips into the middle of the table, and then everybody's just going to grab until they get them. I mean, that's how it's going to be. So let's judge the coaches that were hired in 2020 for their first year, that didn't have a spring, that didn't have all this stuff, that haven't gotten to meet parents of recruits, that haven't gotten to meet their recruits in person.
Yeah.
Like if they had to do all this stuff, let's judge them when they can do their jobs, how they were trained to do their jobs, and not how they've had to adapt to do their jobs.
We got Joe Frazier from Dallas-Fort Worth on the Impact Health Labs call line. Joe, we're going to go to you. We have Matt in D.C., T-Rex, and Steven also on the line. Those three will hold over to after the break. But for now, Joe, you're on with SicEm365 Radio.
Fellas, Paul, what's going on, brother?
Joe, love you, buddy.
I'm so glad that you love you too, man. Hey, I got your back 100%. UT Mike needs to shut his trap. He needs to go figure out what his own dang coach is going to do next year, because they're not going to make a Big 12 title.
Coach, they don't have a
UT
coach.
Mike.
Give it 2 weeks and they'll be coachless.
Yeah, I mean, had Baylor had any inclination of tonight against UT, they'd be looking for a new coach anyway. But we're not going to talk about that because, hey, UT lost, Baylor won this week. It's been a great week. However, Charlie's still not my fan. However, I can talk about Charlie. UT Mike, quit putting him in your mouth. He's our brother. Nice. He's not yours. We can talk about him. That's what brothers do.
We can say bad things about Charlie Brewer. Everybody else, off limits. We know.
Outside the family, it ain't happening.
That's right, because we love him.
We tend to our own. I'm not a Charlie fan. I'll give him credit. He had a pretty good night tonight. He tried to do a Charlie-ism at the end. However, they overturned it. The fumble his knee was down. So, hey, we were cool. No big deal there. However, that field goal, that wasn't a guarantee because what's his name has been struggling with that, getting that hold down.
What's his name
it wasn't a guarantee until that ball went through that upright. But hey guys, I'll hang up and listen. I'm glad you got my boys Matt in DC and T-Rex right behind me. So you got a good show going on. Thanks, fellas, for taking my call.
Yeah, Joe, thanks so much for your call. Paul, I was kind of with Baylor needing to score a touchdown there late because you don't want to chance the field goal.
Yeah. You don't want to chance it, but they did the right thing. I mean, they did that last drive right after the fumble was reversed. Thank goodness for Baylor, but they did everything right. They did absolutely everything right. By the way, Joe used to be in our great military. He was down at Fort Hood. He gave Smokey and I a tour one day, and he let us go in the armory and touch stuff.
No way.
I held a grenade. I mean, it was a dead grenade, but he let me hold a grenade. I'm just saying.
What other digital radio shows can you listen to and get that kind of content for free?
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah. We're going to work on your adjectives, your superfluousness. That doesn't help us. Like superfluous. Yeah, you got short and sweet, buddy.
We've got Matt and DC, T-Rex, Steven, and Tony all on the line. We're going to hold those four over after this break. You guys hold on with us. This is SicEm365 Radio. We'll be right back with the Baylor postgame show. After this, the Bears win it, 32-31.
A group of over 30 physicians in Central Texas became frustrated seeing patients fail at losing weight themselves. They opened Muscle-Wise Nutrition. We've seen too many patients suffer from complications of obesity. Patients who have tried countless do-it-yourself diets, which often results in 25% of the weight they lose coming from muscle breakdown and muscle loss. We needed another approach, so we opened Muscle-Wise Nutrition. This is a coach-managed diet program to lose substantial weight, targeting fat while sparing muscle. Dieters are seen weekly by a coach who performs detailed body composition analysis. Please email us at SicEm365 at MuscleWiseNutrition.com, and one of our coaches will contact you promptly to get you set up for our free educational seminars. Lose weight by losing fat and sparing muscle. Start MuscleWise today. Contact us at SicEm365 at MuscleWiseNutrition.com.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingram with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like instant issue debit cards free at all of our banking centers, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Baylor University, students find their place to shine. They're faithful friends and inspirational leaders. They're championship teammates and independent thinkers. They're on the cutting edge of high tech and in the halls of history. If you want to make the world a brighter place, you can. And if you want to shine in your own way, you can. The spark you need is already inside you. Bring it to Baylor, where lights shine bright.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be part of the Waco community. We're a small family business here in Central Texas. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important. And unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. And that's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through this difficult time. So if you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. You can schedule online in minutes at idealmri.com or call 833-IDEAL-MRI.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
Welcome back to SicEm365 Radio. Here's Drake Toll and J.D. Pickell.
And welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T studio. You're with myself, Drake Toll, alongside Paul Catalina on the MuscleWise Baylor postgame show on SicEm365 Radio. Call us on the Impact Health Labs call line 254-339-1122, or shoot us a text on the the Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line. We've got Matt in D.C. Matt, I found out something very interesting today about your family tree and lineage that I won't expose in the air, but
everyone knows.
I met your brother today.
Everyone knows.
I didn't know until today.
It's T-Rex, right?
Your T-Rex's brother.
Yeah,
Matt,
we've
you're on
talked
the
about
air.
it before.
Gentlemen, I confirm or deny anything. That being said, okay, first off, the shout-out is the UT Mike is to know your role and shut your mouth, all right? Don't worry. Scott Drill will say hi soon. Second of all, to Joe, who let you hold a grenade. Of course he let you hold a grenade because the Army doesn't use them because the Marines are all busy using them, all right? So that being said, how you gentlemen doing?
Good.
Matt, I'm just excited you're T-Rex's brother because I didn't know. Nobody told me.
And longtime running buddy of Joe. So they all went to high school together.
Hey, whoa! The Army runs with the Marines. The Marines don't run with the Army.
All right. Yeah, but hey, Matt, I know tonight you had to really enjoy the way that the fourth quarter went down.
No, I didn't enjoy it because I used to enjoy being up by 30 going into the fourth quarter. All right, I didn't enjoy this at all. I was like, hey, I always say, score 60, you ain't got to worry about all this nonsense. That being said, how about my boy Charlie Brewer once and again winning the game? But my biggest takeaway today is Quaylon Jones. I don't know where he was tonight. I don't know why on 2nd and 2 we throw the ball. 3rd and 2 we throw the ball without handing him the ball. Where was Quaylon Jones tonight?
He didn't play.
He was banged up, a little banged up tonight. He'll be back next week.
I digress then. I apologize. And I was so confused on where my boy Quaylon Jones was after 26 carries, or maybe it was 35 carries the last game. But I was like, where is he at? But that being said, very well. Good job by the defense as normal. Offensive line, complete embarrassment as it has been all year. I hope you gentlemen keep working forward. And I'm just so happy we have a win. It just feels good. Don't worry about Joe. Don't worry about T-Rex. They know where they got to be, and they'll be there. And that being said, man, hey, we got OU next week. I don't know what the hell to think, but damn, how about them Baylor basketball team getting a win? And let's get Gonzaga. See you down the road.
Wow, Matt in D.C., thanks for your call. If you were to tell me that Matt in D.C. is T-Rex's brother, I'd tell you he is.
Yeah, no, it is. Let's go back to the Impact Health Labs phone line and talk to T-Rex. T-Rex, I'm sorry that you had to play. You came in. You're batting cleanup though for Joe and Matt.
Listen up here. Hold on. I got a couple things to say. First off, that's cute and all about the grenade, but my tax dollars paid for that grenade. So thank you, Matt Carver and Matt in D.C. and Joe and wherever you are, Joe. I'll see you when you help me move into my new house in a couple of days. Yeah, you're on the clock for that one. Anyways, couple of takeaways myself. Quaylon Jones wasn't banged up. He was in the weight room because he's a grown man, and that's what he was doing all night. He was lifting weights because look at the man. He probably squats and reps our maxes. So that's where he was. He wasn't in the injury tent. He was working out because that's what the grown man does. Anyways, I digress from all that. Couple takeaways from this game. All right, offensive line, huge digression from the last couple weeks. I don't know what it was. I don't think it was the weather. They're slippery, whatever. Who knows? Get it fixed. Get it right for next week. Another takeaway. The game was never in doubt. Don't check my Twitter. It doesn't matter what I said before the game or during the game. Game was never in doubt. Monty Mayers was going to kick that field goal. We won the game, and that's all that mattered. Next thing, Charlie Brewer, I still am worried about him, and I know everybody's going to be like, oh, Charlie Brewer put us in the game at the end of the quarter or the end of the game, and he's comeback king. When he beats a top 25 team next week, then I'll be Charlie Brewer's best friend. But until he's beat a top 25 team, which unfortunately, per my stats, he hasn't done, and that's not just on him, but it is a fact, and facts don't care about your feelings. We still have concerns with him. Luckily, that fumble got turned over, got a hold of the ball even when you go to the ground. So almost had a big fiasco like we've had a couple of weeks in a row. Got it done, got the win, we move forward. Last thing I got to say, UT Mike, your team lost, our team won. take your candy apple ass back to Austin where you belong, and I'll see you in January or February or whenever the hell we come to play in Texas or play Texas and Austin, because I saw you there last year and you didn't show up, so I'll be there again. And then when you want to come to Waco, I'll take your UT ass and put you on the grill where Bevo belongs, and we'll grill you up and we'll serve you to all of Baylor Nation. Check yourself, know your role, stay in your lane, and worry about your own coach who's about to be fired in 2 minutes. And don't worry about our coach who's got a guaranteed contract, because we know what our situation is, and we're going to get through it. And, hey, guess what? We lost to you. We only won 2 games so far, but you know who we are going to beat? Oklahoma next week. That's who we're going to beat, something you ain't done in God knows how long, UT Mike. So kiss my green and gold ass. That's all I got.
Thank you.
That was a lot.
That was T-Rex.
That was a lot. I'm enjoying this much more than I thought I would, Drake. I'm going to tell you right now.
This is a fun show, Paul. We have a lot of fun on this show.
No, I mean, clearly you do. Clearly you do.
And it's because guys like that call in and give great takes. And I mean, it's like eating popcorn for an hour and a half and not getting fat.
Hey, do we get to go to your hometown in the next call on the Impact Health Labs phone line?
Steven from Virginia?
No, he's already called. We got to, I mean, he called. I mean, we'll take his next call, but I want.
Let's take Tony Burrows from Conway, Arkansas. Tony, you're on with SicEm365 Radio live from my effective hometown, yes?
Yes. I was so excited that you won. Y'all won. Yay.
Thank you. We are very excited as well. It was a great game for the Bears.
And I am not going to try to top that last guy's.
I don't think it'd be possible. It would be very hard.
It's like coming out after Pearl Jam. Like, you're not going to do it.
No, I'm not even going to go there, but I'm very proud that y'all won, and it was an exciting ending, and I'm very proud of you two guys, and y'all keep doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony from Conway. Paul, if I told you that was my sweet grandma, would you believe me?
I would. I'm a big fan of Tony. I'm a big fan of your sweet grandmother. She's very nice. Hey, let's knock out some of these texts because we got a bunch.
Let's knock them out.
I have to apologize. I read a text from Football Bob earlier, and I didn't recognize his number, so I've got to credit him on that. And so I need to put his name in the old thing here. There we go. So now we know. Now I won't make that mistake again next time he texts in.
Hear that, Football Bob? You're on.
By the way, we have a Bigfoot sighting.
Yes.
Coming soon.
It's happening.
Yes. How do bowl games work this year? How will Baylor get an invite? Everybody is eligible for a bowl game this year.
Paul, we won our second game of the year, and immediately fans are like, all right, so which bowl game is it?
So technically Baylor could get an invite. And I think there's going to be bowl games that are going to invite people who will be healthy enough to play in them. But the problem is that there's not going to be, a week-long bowl celebration. Like, you probably have to practice at home and go. There might be, like, backup teams practicing for the bowl because if you're going to actually have the bowl and some of them have been canceled, so say – they pick, I'm picking 2 random teams to play in a bowl game. Boise State and Cal are going to play in a bowl game. And one of them gets COVID. Well, then maybe Baylor's in the backup for that bowl game, and I'm just picking random teams out of a hat. Mac Rhodes and Dave Arena both have told us on interviews that they would go to a bowl game and mostly based on if the players feel like they want to go. And there may not be that. So, like, if they finish, right now they're 2-5. So if they finish 2-7 and, there's more COVID or more all these other things, you may not have the energy to do it anymore. But the bowl practices, I actually think what they should do is let everybody practice like you're going to a bowl game and figure it out in the wash so they get their bowl practices in since you didn't have spring and do that. So
effectively, long story short, there is little to no idea how exactly the bowl season is going to shake out, but nothing is impossible at this point. So, yes, Baylor is still in contention for possibly going to a bowl, even with 2 wins. I think there are a lot of teams that are out there saying, hey, maybe, just maybe, we've got a shot. Even your Michigans and Penn States of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Laura from Houston. What's the deal with Charlie not being in the senior picture recognition before the game?
Ooh.
Do the tea leaves say he's coming back in 2021? Charlie wasn't the only one who wasn't, right,
True.
Drake?
Yeah.
So there were a couple guys who kind of fell in that category. I think some of them just are leaving their options open.
Right. He's one of those guys. We already know he's one of those guys that hasn't necessarily sold himself to either going to the draft or just being done with football. He may come back. That's a legitimate possibility.
Yeah. Scotty B, the Baylor King. What a win tonight. So beyond glad Baylor came back and fought back after so many close calls to finally get a win is amazing. Now we just need to make sure Charlie's okay because he took a big hit. Also, huge win for men's basketball. Anyways, SicEm Bears, and that's Scotty B, the Baylor King.
Paul, if you close your eyes and really think about it, it feels like November of 2019 right now. Everything just feels right in the world.
Yeah. I mean, look, they came back and won. So
we've got Stephen from Virginia on the Impact Health Labs call line. Stephen, you've been hanging on for a while. We got you for your second time. What's up, Stephen?
I just wanted to say my great-grandfather was the captain of the Texas A&M basketball team, and he was on the field with the 12th man. And in later life, his doctor told him that he was not allowed to watch A&M sporting events live. And I used to think, how ridiculous is that? I don't think that's ridiculous anymore, guys.
Oh, after like the heart attack of Baylor football?
I don't. If they win one more game, I can put them in a bowl game. Because 3-6, you can feasibly say that they could win all 3 non-conference games. 3-6, I can say that's fair. But 2-7, I'm probably not there.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you there, Steven. That's probably true. By the way, you mentioned your grandfather. My sweet, dear departed Nana, who passed away a couple years ago, when she was a big A&M fan, she's also a huge Spurs fan and Cowboys. Whenever there would be an exciting game, we'd have to call her and call my granddad and make sure that that she was okay. Like she hadn't had a fainting spell or something because it was too exciting.
Sports, man.
Yeah,
You know what's amazing about that is these grandparents of mine are probably so disgusted with me because of my Baylor, because I chose my mom's side and I chose to be a Baylor fan.
Hey, look, listen, there's outliers all over the place. That's what makes the world great, Steven.
Thanks, guys.
I love it. Stephen, thanks for your call again. We've got Mark. Mark, you're on with SicEm365 Radio, calling in from the Impact Health Labs call-in line.
Hello, yes. I'm on my way back home, and I just wanted to say I think R.J. Sneed might very well be Denzel Mims 2.0.
But today he was. As for the other days...
I think that before.
Yeah, he's playing. If he still had the explosion he had before his knee injury, I think he certainly has the potential. But he can make some catches, and he had the shake today. Really, his best. Everybody, look, most of the players that on the offense, best game of the season this year. If you don't have an ineligible number.
Yes.
So or a running back number, but Ebner had some nice plays that they moved the ball. Brewer's best game of the year, Fleek's best game of the year. Tyquan Thornton contributed finally, and R.J. Sneed was what he's really been as the go-to guy this year.
I think so. I think it's just not that he's doing some great things, but he's making these amazing acrobatic catches that Mims was so famous for. And he did that against Iowa State.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Mark. Thanks so much for your call. And R.J. Sneed was the difference today. To me, R.J. Sneed, without him, Baylor doesn't win that game. He made plays that went beyond what Baylor has really seen so far this season. There have been some acrobatic catches and nice plays, but today he made them when they really, really mattered, and that put Baylor ahead. We've got, Paul, how about this? Before we get with Baylor Bigfoot, who is calling into the show later, we have who some call Sunshine. That's J.D. Pickell on with the SicEm365 Radio postgame show. J.D. J.D.?
Let me say you guys sound phenomenal. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, now we got you.
Good. I was just saying, first off, great to hear you guys on this end. Sound phenomenal. Listen, man, I'm just going to spout off a little bit about Charlie Brewer. How about it, huh? Finally got in the win column.
350 yards.
Out. Guy played unconscious, man, and now it seems like there has been a noticeable decline in the amount of callers that are asking for a different quarterback. Because, I mean, this is just me, but I don't think that another quarterback wins you that football game. I don't think Zeno wins that game. I think Bohannon wins that game. Shapen doesn't win you that game. So,
Kyron Drones, question mark?
Everyone was hoping
Still
for.
in high school.
Say that again.
Kyron Drones?
Kyron Drones, hopefully next year he does, but I mean, I don't know if he's eligible, to say the least. But I'm just going to go ahead and say, Charlie Brewer, take a bow because you've proven yourself worthy of leading this football team.
Well, JD, you make a good point. Nobody's called in about Charlie. And look, Charlie had his moments tonight where he looked like bad Charlie. He did, Drake. But there's a reason he hasn't been benched. I mean, there's a reason for that. Now, should they maybe see what they've gotten some of the other guys? Yeah, but there's a reason he hasn't been benched.
Absolutely, and I think you saw that tonight.
Yeah. JD, thanks for your call as always. Miss you, brother, and look forward to seeing you later on in this week. We're going to take it to a break and be back on the SicEm365 Muscle Wise postgame show. I'm Drake Toll alongside Paul Catalina. When we come back, we'll still be taking calls and texts. You got to get into us, 254-339-1122. This is the SicEm365 postgame show.
Have you tried a do-it-yourself program to lose weight? You may not know that in a typical do-it-yourself program, a quarter of the weight you lose is due to muscle breakdown and loss. With COVID harming obese and overweight patients, being at ideal body weight is more important now than ever. Over 30 physicians in Central Texas, tired of seeing patients fail at losing weight themselves, opened Muscle Wise Nutrition. This is a coach-managed weight loss program that targets fat and spares muscle. The 4 Muscle Wise locations have taken off over 19,000 pounds from Texas dieters in the last few years. The combination of coaching and weekly body composition analysis to target the fat loss are the keys to success. The coaches teach you how to eat and live a healthy lifestyle. Email SicEm365@musclewisenutrition.com today, and the coaches will contact you about their free educational seminars. Do not wait. Email today and start MuscleWise at SicEm365@musclewisenutrition.com.
Born in Waco, Brotherwell Brewing exists to serve the Central Texas community with locally crafted beer of the highest quality. They want to bring Central Texas closer to the brewing experience so everyone can enjoy well-made beer as much as they do. For 2.5 years, they've been bringing high-quality beer to Central Texas at their location on Bridge Street in East Waco. And this football season, you need to stop by on game day for curbside pickup or stop by their tent next to SicEm365 at Brazos Parking for your pregame refreshment. Brotherwell Brewing believes in community and bringing people together to enjoy products made in their community. So for your game day, whether it's a tailgate or at home, stop by Brotherwell Brewing for high-quality craft beer made right here in Central Texas, 400 East Bridge Street, and check them out online at brotherwell.com.
With more than 160,000 alumni worldwide and counting, the Baylor family is growing. And through the university's expanded Baylor alumni program, the family is growing closer. With hundreds of local volunteers planning events in cities and towns around the country, you can gather with fellow Bears no matter where you are. So, get connected, get something started, get involved, and make plans to get together with Baylor alumni. Visit us at baylor.edu/alumni.
Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physicians for Baylor Athletics, specializing in diagnosis and treatment of any and all sport-related injuries, celebrating over a decade of service to Central Texas. They tackle all surgical and non-surgical problems that arise from an active lifestyle. Trust the doctors that Baylor trust, and when injuries sideline you, don't wait for Monday. Join us at 8:30 on Saturday mornings for a post-game injury evaluation clinic. Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. We get you back in the game.
In Texas, there's pea-size hail and baseball-size hail. Guess which one hit our house? We didn't even know where to begin, but we called our Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent, and he was so reassuring. He knew exactly what to do to get our house back into shape and our lives back to normal. Now, we're even more thankful for the roof over our heads.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Welcome back to SicEm.
The trucks, man, they have the one for you. Crew cab, short or long bed, silver, black or blue. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, he has the truck for you. Carr has the trucks, man, he has the truck you need. If you want the best truck, you want a GMC. Texas size selection, great prices too. Richard Carr, they have the truck for you.
A group of over 30 physicians in Central Texas became frustrated seeing patients fail at losing weight themselves. They opened Muscle-Wise Nutrition. We've seen too many patients suffer from complications of obesity. Patients who have tried countless do-it-yourself diets, which often results in 25% of the weight they lose coming from muscle breakdown and muscle loss. We needed another approach, so we opened Muscle-Wise Nutrition. This is a coach-managed diet program to lose substantial weight, targeting fat while sparing muscle. Dieters are seen weekly by a coach who performs detailed body composition analysis. Please email us at SicEm365 at MuscleWiseNutrition.com, and one of our coaches will contact you promptly to get you set up for our free educational seminars. Lose weight by losing fat and sparing muscle. Start MuscleWise today. Contact us at SicEm365 at MuscleWiseNutrition.com.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine has their easy-to-access drive-thru open and convenient and clean in-store location on the corner of Lakeshore Drive and North 19th Street in Waco. Riverbend Liquor has the best and most extensive variety of craft beer selections in Waco, and Balcones whiskey, including single malt, pot still, baby blue, rye, brimstone, and the all-new lineage in stock. Riverbend Liquor and Wine, family-owned and operated, and a hidden gem in Waco on Lakeshore Drive and 19th Street. And find out more on Facebook and Instagram.
Parenting is full of surprises.
You never know what to expect.
So after our son was born, I called my Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent to set up a life insurance policy in case something happened to me.
Sawyer is now 2.
And we'll soon have a sister. There's no one else I would trust with protecting my family.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Welcome back to SicEm365 Radio. Here's Drake Toll and J.D. Pickell.
Welcome back in the Texas Farm Bureau Broadcast Center. You're with myself, Drake Toll, alongside Paul Catalina on the Muscle-Wise Baylor Postgame Show on SicEm365 Radio. Call or text. Get in on the action at 254-339-1122. Paul, Baylor wins it today by 1 point, slimmest of margins, 32-31.
And it was a great fourth quarter. I thought the way that they stuck in and dug in. And look, we can nitpick about a lot of bad things that happened.
Yeah.
There were a lot of bad things that happened.
7
in this game.
sacks given up.
Yeah,
7
sacks given up. The offensive line. This game was maybe even worse at times than the West Virginia game, but they won this game. They figured it out, and they got it done. And part of that, I think, and look, Larry Fedora probably, has earned his share of criticism for what's happened this year at certain times, but they did adjust, and they quit saying, like, sometimes you just have to say, look, this is not working. Let's stop it. I know we've worked on it. I know we've practiced it. I know it's part of our base offense, but it's not working, so let's stop. And that's what they did. They stopped doing the stuff that was just not working. And sometimes less is more.
Yeah.
Less is more. Drake, I'm assuming you've never seen the movie A Few Good Men?
Is that, we're going to go with no. For sake of time.
Tom Cruise and Demi Moore and Kevin Bacon and Jack Nicholson. But there's a line. He's a lawyer. He's a military lawyer, and that's your homework assignment for this week. If I see you again and you haven't seen
it's
that.
finals week. I'm in college.
I don't. You'll take a break. It's 2 hours. You're fine. You're fine. Come on.
It's Baylor. It's a Tier 1 research university, Paul.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. You're fine. You're a smart kid. You'll get it. You'll figure it out. You can't take 2 hours and watch A Few Good Men, clear your head? Come on. You're just going to study the whole time.
See.
You're not going to study. You're not going to study. You're going to like eat and study. Come on.
I'm studious.
Okay. All right. Good one. I know your parents are watching. Sure. But in A Few Good Men, he's telling them as they're getting ready for the trial, don't use 7 words when 4 will do. And I think that's a good metaphor for what the offense finally did. It was like they stopped trying to use 7 words when 4 would do. Like, here's what's working, do that. Here's what's working, do that.
We've got T-Rex again on the Impact Health Labs call line. T-Rex, you're on with SicEm365 Radio. What you got?
Well, first off, the fact that you haven't ever seen one of the greatest cinematic pieces of art ever made clearly shows that you can't handle the truth. Now, there's some more homework for you. Come back to me when you realize what that means.
I deserve that.
Anyway, I forgot one thing that what I called it earlier, and it has nothing necessarily to do with the game itself. Me and you, we talked before the game, and you asked me based on my comments after the Tech game, about Norman, about going to Norman. And when I called in after the Tech game, I was questioning whether it's worth it. I've been to all these games this year, and we've been playing the way we have.
Right.
Whatever. There was all this concern. My bank account's concerned. More importantly, my fiance's concerned for my health, mental, physical, and emotional, and everything else.
Get me to the good stuff, T-Rex. Come on, man. Positive we won today.
That's all I got. I'm going to be in Norman, and Oklahoma ain't ready for it. So the last stadium that I got left on my list, on my little checklist that I've never been to in the Big 12, because, unfortunately, Nebraska and Colorado and Missouri, and I went to a little Aggieville. It's a hellhole, so I've been there at some point. But the other ones, they ran away, so if they want to come back and play, I'll go to their stadium. But current Big 12, Norman's all I got left. And next Saturday, whatever time it is, rain, shine, sleet, snow, hell cometh, I'll be there. I'll be checking the mark off, and Baylor football will be checking a couple other marks where you stick Lincoln Riley back in his place in the cesspool that he came from. That's all I got to say. See you in Norman.
T-Rex out.
Hey, by the way, I know this is a Baylor show, but one of the great atmospheres in college football is in Norman.
Okay, speaking of, he mentioned Texas A&M. I don't know if I think he said he hadn't been to Kyle Field. Tyler, do we have that picture queued up and ready to go on Paul's email? I got a really good picture that we'll show here in just a second after Baylor Bigfoot, who comes through in the call queue as Big Butt Baylor football. Baylor Bigfoot, this is the highlight of my week every week, man. Bring it on. How can you tell me that Garrett McGuire should be the starting quarterback when Chuck puts up 350, 2 tutties, going 31 for 39?
Hello.
What's up, Baylor Bigfoot?
Hey, got Baylor Bigfoot. Don't be on the phone. First time caller, long time listener. Glad I can call into the #1 radio show on SicEm365. Sorry, I didn't think I'd drop a mess in the bathroom. Please keep my toilet in the prayers. It was massive.
Is that all, Baylor
Maybe
Bigfoot?
TMI, but I wanted y'all to know.
It's not.
Is that UT Mike is a big hater. Get him out of here. In the spirit of Thanksgiving, I must say I'm very thankful for such a great radio show, and I'm very thankful for a Baylor football victory.
Baylor Bigfoot, we're thankful for you, but are you not thankful?
I'm thankful for like 95% of this call. There's 5% of it I didn't need to know, but I'm very still.
Baylor Bigfoot, are you thankful for Charlie Brewer today?
But you know what I'm not thankful for? I started off with the one GA on the Baylor football team. Once again, we saw the O-line had a bad approach, and that falls squarely on Jen Danielson's coaching throughout the week. He probably told him to go hog wild on the food on Thursday. That's why they were so slow and weren't fucking well. We were lucky to win the game. Also, can we get a moment of silence for Garrett McGuire, as I will start calling him G McG?
G McG. Baylor Bigfoot, thank you so much for your call as always. And I tell you what, Paul, we've heard the folks at home. The fans are starting, it's brewing. The Fire Jens Danielson, the offensive line graduate assistant train. That hashtag is now trending on Twitter today after 7 sacks given up. What at this point?
Why is it his fault?
Why is it not, Paul?
I mean, again, so we're at a Mexican standoff because there's, like you can't tell me why it's his fault, and I can't tell you why it's not. But
Jens Danielson, you keep your job today. So Tyler's got this picture queued up. A couple of different callers have mentioned Texas A&M today, and I just wanted to show this for those of you who have the visual. This is the actual real Texas A&M band. So on a day where Baylor wins, Texas A&M loses, no matter what the score was, as they have holes, Paul, in the middle of their mask.
What did you say? Texas A&M lost?
This is they lost off the field with this picture.
Okay.
Their band wore masks that have holes cut out in the middle of the mask.
Yeah, so I don't understand this. And look, I come from a long line of Aggies. I didn't go to Texas A&M. Most of my family did. That is silly because, well, I mean, I guess it's the best you can do. I mean, like, it's a compromise.
Silly's a nice word.
But I mean, it's silly because, you know, you got to have, they've decided to have them there. So they've got to, you know, do something. Like, it's silly. I mean, because, you know, it kind of defeats the purpose. But I would assume, you know, blowing into a horn, is a good way to spread the fire. I'm not sure. I have no idea.
That's just not, wow.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, how is that different than people that you know, just do the chin diaper?
It's not, but it's the Texas A&M band. It's the fact that that's organized. Someone stood up and said, this is what we're doing, and everyone else agreed.
Yeah, I mean, but like, it serves its purpose, right? I mean, so, okay, what's the difference between what they're doing there and if they pull their mask down to blow on the trumpet?
The difference is that looks a lot sillier.
Yeah, but, you know.
Who wants to look? You don't want to look silly. Not in today's age. It's those Gen Zers.
You don't, but, you know.
Because Twitter will take you out. Speaking of, Twitter currently now Twitter and the Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line so the Fire Jens Danielson train was trending, and now it's the Fire Drake Toll train. Because I haven't seen a few good men, Paul. This is not good.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, how you can consider yourself an adult male without seeing it, or an adult, period. I don't know. It's a fantastic movie.
You know what? I'm going to do it tonight. Finals can wait, Paul. We're watching a few good men.
Here's the thing. Drake's parents, he is saying this, that he's going to study the whole time, and Drake's going to do fine on his finals. If he takes 2 hours and 18 minutes out to watch A Few Good Men, which is a very taut legal thriller.
What's it rated, Paul?
It's rated R.
Paul, I'm not even 20 yet.
Well, I mean, you've been able to see the movie for a year. So, I mean, or 2 years. So you're fine. And it's only rated, it was rated R based on 1993 standards. So don't worry about that. If you're, young Conway, Arkansas ears can't handle it.
Takeaways from today. Baylor wins it by 1 off the leg of John Mayers on a 31-yard field goal. Charlie Brewer throws for 350, 31 for 39, despite being sacked 7 times. He rushes 23 times for 56 yards. Chuck's getting the ice bath tonight, and the Baylor Bears win it. Second, and just as important takeaway, I got to watch A Few Good Men.
You do. You absolutely do. Brian's seen it, I'm sure, several times. Yeah, I mean, he's had TNT his whole life. He's had to have picked it up accidentally. Colt's seen A Few Good Men. Tyler Bolden, Few Good Men. Oh, my gosh. You know what? You guys can go hang out together after the show. Although Drake, based on the way he's dressed, has a beat poetry slam to go to later. So
Paul, you're coming after the fit? This is the Gen Z drip, as they call it. I know it's not my casual, normal quarter zip, but this right here, the turtleneck? I mean, my man.
Listen, it's fine. Look, if you're into that, you can have a nice mochaccino.
You mean Topo Chico?
Yeah, you can have, whatever you're going to do. But again, here's the thing. I want to be invited when they open the Beat Poetry Slam open mic up again, because I want to see what you're putting down.
Baylor wins was so fun. Baylor wins for everyone.
See, there you go. Look at that. I wasn't even lying. You improv that very well. You yes-anded me right into almost to the end of the show. Baylor Bigfoot didn't get to finish his call. Should we
let's just take it?
Let's just deal with it. So, yeah. Sorry, Baylor Bigfoot.
Yeah, you're back.
Hey guys, Baylor Bigfoot, that'll be the phone. First time caller, long time listener. Glad I can go to the number 1 radio show on SicEm365. Once again, sorry I had to drop a massive in the bathroom. Please keep my toilet in your prayers. It was a massive. Maybe TMI. But I wanted to know.
He can't even make it through without laughing.
Once again, Baylor was a 5.5-point favorite in Vegas. Obviously, Vegas thought that Garrett McGuire and Gary Bohannon would get the start. Once again, Charlie Brewer's lack of arm strength really limited the downfield shots Baylor could take on offense. But in the end, Chuck's a competitor, and he earned it tonight. In fact, it is such a disappointment that Jared Atkinson didn't get more yards and that Michael McNair didn't start at linebacker. Both of those guys have given their all to the team with little in return. You know what? I bet Jens Danielson purposely fixed them. He did it personally. Most of the seniors see past Daniels' fake coaching knowledge. I guarantee you, a former NFL player like myself or Travis Frederick would be a significantly better graduate than the current clown who coaches the offensive line. And you know what else? I'm really glad that our senior night, Garrett McGuire got to be a play calling for the sideline. We wouldn't want to see him play or switch up the offense. That would be stupid. You don't take away an offensive genius mind like G McGee from the team's offense. We need him, Zeno, and that one random graduate isn't to relay the great play calls from Ray Fedora to Charlie Brewer.
Baylor Bigfoot.
It might be 4-3, but that's another rant for another time. Anyway, a great team win led by unlikely hero Charles Brewer II. You know what? He's earned it. That was Truck tonight. Man, does it feel good to win a football game? And man, does it feel good to get a massive out of my stomach? I ain't gonna listen. Double Bezo.
They get more obscure, but there's still so much quality to them for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your
Yeah,
response.
that was... I'm going to have to work through that call in therapy.
So, linebacking core led by who I thought played really well tonight, Dylan Doyle. Tyler, do we have that one?
Dylan Doyle, DD all day.
Oh, my gosh. And today was a very good what, Tyler?
I am having a very
good
day.
And if Baylor would have lost today, it would have been?
This is bad. This is very,
Stephen
very
A.
bad.
I love it. Every week, Paul. I love it.
Yeah. I'm just, I'm kind of flabbergasted at, I've been in radio for almost 16 years now, and I think I've got to really look inward after that call from Baylor Bigfoot about where my life is going.
You're on the MuscleWise SicEm365 postgame show. That's where your life is.
It is.
And the trajectory is only up from here after Baylor Bigfoot's call.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. Although I do live by the mantra as it can always get worse, so watch out.
Bingo. Hey, but things are great today. Baylor picks up their second win of the season, snaps the 5-game losing streak. Final score, Baylor 32, Kansas State 31. I'm Drake Toll alongside Paul Catalina, a whole host with us here at SicEm365 Radio. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you guys next week after Baylor plays Oklahoma and beats them by 3 touchdowns, Paul.
Okay, sure. You know what? I'll let you be happy tonight. Drake, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks for listening to SicEm365 Radio.
The SicEm365 Radio postgame show is also brought to you by...
Here comes a blitz. We're well protected. One-on-one in the end zone. R.J. Sneed. He's got it for a Baylor touchdown.